Afternoon. Well, parish life has certainly changed dramatically over the last couple of weeks, hasn't it? I think we're all still catching up with the new realities, both for our lives in the community and as individuals, and also for our parish life. But I've been really impressed by how well people are enthusiastically adopting some new processes and are intentionally supporting one another. I wanted to talk to you today about the priorities for our parish moving through this difficult time, and just to outline, as I see, the most important priorities, which are firstly about pastoral care and staying connected with one another. Secondly, about setting up some good communications. Thirdly, providing resources for worshipping together as a parish community, and lastly, ensuring the financial stability of our parish. In relation to pastoral care, I've been encouraging and I think it's really important for all parishioners to be intentional about staying in touch with one another by phone and email. The more we can do this as a community, the better I think we're all going to be. The parish directory is an important resource and it's available on the parish website. I have put a note on the blog about how to access it, but briefly just go on the parish email to Other on the far right hand side and then to Members, and there's a section there where you can sign up to the parish website. When you've done so, if you look on the parish directory and your name is not on it, that means that you didn't provide explicit written permission last year for me to share out your details with the whole parish. So if you would like a name to be on it now, please do email me and just let me know so I can put your name on it. I've asked lay pastoral ministers, LPMs in particular, to take a lead and to be proactive in ringing around just to see how people are doing. So if you get a really quick phone call from either me or one of the LPMs, we're just really wanting to touch base and check in and see how you're doing. If you are self-isolating, either by yourself or with your household, and you haven't got things in place for shopping, if you have any difficulties at all with getting the things you need, please do let us know. I'm forming a group of people who are volunteering to do shopping, so if you need some help, then I can easily ask one of them to do a bit of shopping for you and drop it off on your doorstep. At the same time, if you would like to join my group of volunteer shoppers, I'd love to hear from you. Our communications as a parish in this time of social distancing have been made a little bit easier by the fact that so many of our parish do have access to the internet and to emails. There are just a handful of people who don't. If you know of any members of the parish that don't have access to email, it'll be particularly important just to stay in touch with them by phone to check that they're getting information, or else to drop information off for them and the resources that they need for prayer and worship. I created the blog called Swan Parish News last week, and this is becoming the first place to look for any information about the parish. Now, at the bottom of any of my emails, you'll see some links. One link to our parish website, another link to my sermon blog, but the most importantly, the link to our parish news blog. That's the one to click, and you'll see all of the messages that I put up there in date order, as well as news and some prayer resources. That's where you also go to access our audio services for a Sunday or daily prayer resources. The way Christy does her job as a parish administrative assistant is changing rapidly. I'm really pleased with the way she is getting up to speed quickly. I've asked Christy to make sure our Facebook page gets some more attention to bring it up to speed. It's going to contain a whole lot of other spirituality resources, including things like relevant hymns and prayers and visual images, and maybe a few video clips as well as links on the Facebook page to our parish news blog. So that provides another way for you to stay in touch with the parish. And please, if you have a Facebook page, please follow our Swan Parish Facebook page. As well as that, the Twitter feed is being updated regularly, so if you do have Twitter, please follow us on Twitter. That's another way of helping stay in the loop of what's going on and staying in the loop of things like services that are being held. Lastly, instead of our praise and proclamation pew sheet, Christy from now on will be sending out an e-bulletin by email at the end of every week, which will have all the usual information that you usually get on a pew sheet, as well as links to other items that can be accessed on the parish news blog or Facebook or Twitter. Worship, of course, is at the heart of a parish. The fact that we are able to meet and worship together as a community. And what this says is that we're not just a collection of individual Christians, but we are a worshipping community. It's a special challenge, isn't it, for us to work out ways that we can worship together even when we can't physically meet up. It's early days yet, and I've already, of course, over the last week, worked out a few ways of offering our Sunday service as an audio file with liturgy sheets and so on. This will, of course, evolve, and we'll develop new resources as we go along. But my guiding principle as I'm working out how I can offer our Sunday services online, my guiding principle is that our worship needs to be able to be accessed easily by people even when they don't have a high level of computer skills. I'm also aiming for our Sunday worship resources to be able to be accessed either on a computer or a smartphone. Another thing that I'd like to try to do is to make our online services interactive rather than just something that you switch on and listen to. I'm trying, as you'll see, some new ideas for our Holy Week service to enhance the ways that we can interact with the service from our own desks and kitchen tables. At this stage, the reason I've opted for delivering our services by audio rather than video services, it's for two reasons. One is that I'm wanting to make this easy for people to access, even if they don't have a high level of computer knowledge. And the other thing is that I'm also trying to make it easy for me to produce, and this is the easiest thing at this point. Video clips become very large files, which take a lot of work to get up onto YouTube. But I am interested, of course, in your experiences of accessing the Sunday services. Please let me know what works, what doesn't work, what you're finding accessible and easy, and what might be difficult, and we can see what we can do to continually improve. Please also share the links to our worship with anybody else outside our regular parish community who you think might benefit from them. Lastly, I'm also posting up morning and evening prayer each day. This is the morning evening prayer that I do for myself, so if you would like to tune in and pray with me, then that would be rather wonderful. The last major thing I want to talk about today is our parish finances. Our finances as a parish, as the treasurer and wardens and I shared at our Sustainable Swan workshop at the beginning of February, our parish finances are a little bit precarious. But like most parishes in our city, and I guess across the country, our parish finances are now set to take a major hit from COVID-19. This, of course, comes at the same time as many of us, as members of the parish, face anxiety about our individual finances. There are three ways in which our parish is taking a financial hit at this time, and the first way is because we can no longer hire out the Mention Centre. This was bringing in over $10,000 a year. That money is now no longer going to be received. We have had to discontinue hall use for everybody's safety, and of course the organisations who have been hiring the Mention Centre have also been saying to me, look, if you hadn't called me, we would have been calling you to let you know we can't continue. So we're on good terms with all of our hall hirers, and we hope to invite them back after this. The other way that we have taken a financial hit is in fundraising. Fundraising, of course, has been a major part of the way in which Swan Parish stays afloat, but we simply are unable to do any fundraising at this time of self-isolation, of social distancing, and possibly even of lockdown. And thirdly, we take a bit of a hit from offerings. Many of you were already giving your pledge by way of direct debit, and that's the best way for the parish, because that means that your pledge comes in week after week, whether you are physically present at church or not. Cash is now a difficult way of giving your pledge because, of course, we're no longer passing around the offering plate. It is still possible to put a cash donation in the donation box at All Saints. However, it is also a lot safer to be making payments by direct debit rather than physical banknotes. A number of people just over the last week have already switched over to direct debiting. If you would like to do so, then the information you need is on the parish website under donations. And so I would urge you to have a look at that. Now also is the time of year to get pledges in. The Treasurer, Mary, sent out the pledge letters just a couple of weeks ago, and it would be really good to get your pledges made so that the Treasurer and Parish Council in general can have a look and see what our income is likely to be in the year ahead. I'd like to actually take this opportunity to give a big thank you to the Treasurer, to the Wardens, and to members of Parish Council who have not shrunk from making the hard decisions. I've been impressed by their quick grasp of the situation, their willingness to do whatever needs to be done to ensure the safety of all of our parish members, and to ensure that we as a parish do our bit to ensure the safety of the community. Lastly, just a quick reflection. For us, not just as a parish, but as a community, I think, to get through the time ahead, we're going to need a new intentionality. We're going to have to be intentional about caring for one another. Even paradoxically, as we are being asked to stay physically away from one another, we are learning and have to learn new ways of caring and staying connected with one another. It's also, I think, a challenge to our creativity. Not just a short-term challenge either, I think, but possibly this situation over coming months is going to be a stimulus for fresh thinking about new ways of being the church. If we approach this time of restriction, I believe, with energy, with commitment, with mutual care and love, it will be a time of growth for us. Thank you, and God bless.